What's going on, world? Welcome to my podcast. It's just different with Ty, where I talk about sports, social, political issues, you name it, everything under the sun. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Leave all comments section below. Also hit the notification bell so you can get updated on the latest, newest videos because I'm coming with that fire. As you see, y'all, I'm doing it a little bit different. I'm outside, in New York when it's March. You got to appreciate these nice sunny days and take full advantage of it. That's what I'm doing. And this is probably going to be one of my best, if not best, podcast videos. It's personal, near and dear to me. So we're going to talk about that. Let's get into it.
Welcome to It's Just Different with your host, Ty.
All right, y'all. As I sit back and relax, enjoy this sun. I had time to reflect on what I wanted to talk about for my next video, and I thought it would be an honor to talk about the late great Dr. Yosef Ben-Jochannan, who I had the pleasure of meeting. And it still gives me chills because I had followed this man's work for so many years. And once when I was able to locate him, I said, I have to meet him. I have to meet him, So I'm gonna give y'all a little story. So my main mentor, I got a few mentors. A lot of my mentors, he's a true, real activist, for the community, always have been. And, I used to always pick his brain, I used to just call him, just laughing about him 5 times a day, just about different things, political things, social things. Why is this happening? Why is that happening? How would you, different political parties, different people that, Pan-African is people that's not being talked about or taught in school, and why it's not being taught in school, and it's just everything. And like I said, I would call him 11 in the morning and even 11 at night, just to pick his brain because he has so much knowledge. And he would reference or recommend certain books that I read that I never even heard of. He would recommend certain people that I've never even heard of. Again, growing up, you would hear about, of course, El Hajj Malik Shabazz, which is Malcolm X. You would hear about Dr. Martin Luther King. You would hear about Medgar Evers. We hear about Rosa Parks and Frederick Douglass and, Huey P. Newton. But believe it or not, I really didn't know too much, if any, about H. Rap Brown, who my mentor met. And he came to my project building, H. Rap Brown, to sit and have a dialogue with my mentor. Just so many other people, great Pan-Africanists, people that, Sonny Carlson, people I didn't even know nothing about. And he believed what happened was he told me to read a book. I think it was by Chancellor Williams, the destruction of Black civilization, or something along those lines. Can't remember the title of the book. I actually have the book, many of his other books. Can't remember the exact title. And I read that book and I was just shocked and blown away. And what I did was from there I went on YouTube, and I seen some brothers start talking, and about just the Bible and different things, and Africa and Africans, and different tribes. And it was actually Sadnetta TV. So shout out to Sadnetta TV. And I was seeing all these brothers on there talk. This was had to be 11 years ago. Probably 11, about 11 years ago. 11, 12 years ago. And I'm seeing all these brothers talk and drop information and knowledge, and they started quoting all these historians who I again never heard. And I asked, I believe I think I was talking to my mentor again, and he gave me a book to read. And I was like, yo, this is I heard this guy before. I only heard of him because on Side TV they talked about him, and it was a book by John Henrik Clarke, and it was the Christopher Columbus and the African Holocaust. And my mentor at the time, he had all these books, had all this knowledge, and was like, yeah, you got to read him. They don't have guys like these on TV no more that can can spark your mind and interest and let you know about your history. So I said, I'm gonna go on YouTube and I'm gonna try to look more into John Henrik Clarke. And I watched them, and then I found the show called Like It Is with Gail Noble. Never heard of it. Again, no one in my family was talking about it too much, about these type of shows. Revolutionary, intelligent show that bring all this history of our people. And in the process of watching it, I stumbled upon a man named Dr. Yosef Ben-Jochannan. So the first clip was a 2-hour clip he did in Africa with Gail Noble on Like It Is. And when I was watching it, he was just talking about the history, and he was talking about how what he had to do to study, to learn, and how since he was black, he couldn't sleep where they slept at, or do certain things that the other students could do. And how his father was telling him, you go to Africa, you study your history, or go here and let me know who comes from civilization and who didn't. And I clicked onto another video, and it was him, and I forgot the professor at the time. And I guess he was at a school, Dr. Yosef Ben-Jochannan, at a lecture, and down south, I don't know if it was Mississippi, Alabama, somewhere. And he was talking about how he's holding up this papyrus of all the things that African people was doing, from curing certain diseases and having a form of birth control back then. And, I was just mind blown by all this information that he was giving in a lecture. And he said something that just I've heard 1,000 times, but just when he said it, it resonated with me. And he said, some our people think that the house on the hill and the Mercedes Benz and all these things that make you free, but that doesn't make you free. It is the mind.
We are no longer physical slaves, but we are mental slaves. And this is the worst form of slavery. Some of us believe that the Cadillac and the house on the beach makes us free. But it's the mind that makes us free.
And again, it's just so simple, but so powerful and so direct. And when he said it, I was just like, yo. And he started talking about other things, and he started talking about the Bible and how and how Christianity and all these things, they come from African concepts, come from the Nile Valley culture. And he was talking about 42 laws on Ma'at, and how the 10 Commandments, when Noah and everything got the 10 Commandments, he actually got them from his fellow Africans that was practicing that system from so many years ago. And he just broke it down, and I just couldn't believe it. I got his first book, which is We the Black Jews and the Nile Family. And I mean, he has so many books that I have, and I read through, and I've read through again, and I've read through again, and I've read through again. And I just said, man, and I just watched more videos, and again, watching other Side videos on Dr. Yosef Ben-Jochannan, talking to my mentor again about Dr. Yosef Ben-Jochannan. And again, that's how I found Dr. Ivan Van Sertimer and Dr. Sheikh. It was all these great Africans, man, that no one really, not I want to say no one, but a lot of my peers do not even know who they are. Like I did a little reel where I asked most of my black coworkers who these 4 African scholars were. Dr. John, Professor John Henry Clarke, Dr. Ivan Van Sertimer, Dr. Sheikh, and Dr. Yosef Ben-Jochannan, and none of them knew who they were at all. And that was troubling. That will tell you a lot about the race. If you can't really, if you don't really, you don't even know who these people are, so you can't even name what book they wrote. You know what I'm saying? You can't even, come off the hip and go, oh yeah, they wrote this book, I remember reading it. Had no idea. So after months and months and years of watching all these videos from Dr. Yosef Ben-Jochannan and reading his books, I said, where is he? Is he alive? And it showed that he was alive. And I was trying to find where he was. Again, I didn't know where to start. And it was a video that I seen. And I've seen the video literally 15 times. I just watched the video 2 weeks ago again. And it's like as if I'm hearing it for the first time, and there's something in there that, that I learned again, that it's just, that's why I love watching his videos. But when I stroll through the comments, and usually I stroll through the first 5-10 comments to see what people say, then I stroll through like another 20-30 comments, and someone said, yeah, salute to Dr. Ben. He's still alive. He's in the Bronx. He's at this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, nursing home. Here's the number if you guys want to contact him. And I'm like, this is a joke. Ain't no way somebody's gonna just put his info. Why would somebody? He made 2,000 videos. I'm probably exaggerating, but he's made so many videos, and I've seen this video 2,000 times, and all of a sudden, or not all of a sudden, could have been there. This information is there. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. And again, I'm from New York, born, raised, and still live in New York. And at the time, I was living in Westchester County. So I'm like, I'm only 25-30 minute drive away from the Bronx. I wrote the information down. I said, you know what? I'm going to call this number first thing in the morning, because I saw the video again 2 o'clock in the morning. I got up. I was hyped. I said, let me call this number. Called. There was the nursing home in Co-op City. And I said, can I speak to, I said, is Dr. Yosef Ben-Jochannan in there? And this lady said, who? And she had an accent. And I said, is Dr. Yosef Ben-Jochannan, is he there? Can I speak to him? They said, hold on. They said, yeah, he's here. And I'm like, okay, cool. And she said, hold on. I'm going to go get him. And my heart started pounding. I started sweating and everything like that. And I'm like, nah, this can't be true. So, again, here's this man. He was like 90, 91 at the time, I think. 90, 89, 90 at the time. So he got on the phone. He said, hello. I said, Dr. Yosef Ben. I said, yeah, I love you. I love your work. I'm going to come see you first thing tomorrow morning. Because it was a Friday morning when I called. So I'm going to see you first thing tomorrow morning. And I hung up, and then I called right back to ask them. I said, hey, wait, I can visit him tomorrow? They said, yeah. I said, what time is visiting hours? It was early. They said something like 7 o'clock. I said, oh, yeah, I'm there. Oh, it could have been 8 o'clock. I said, yeah, I'm there. So I got the information, drove there. I believe, like I said, visiting hours at 8, and I got there like 7:56. And I was just like, yeah, Dr. Yosef Ben-Jochannan. And I went in, I signed the sheet, had my tag, and they took me to another room, and then he came out, he was in a wheelchair. And I looked at him and I said, it's Dr. Ben. It is actually Dr. Ben. Now, mind you, he was, older from his videos, from the 70s and 80s, of course. But you could tell 10,000% it was still Dr. Ben. And that made that's probably the highest point in my life, one of the highest point in my life. And to meet someone who I revere and love and studied and learned so much from for so many years. And I was just happy, and I just soaked, I just asked him questions. And for him to be 90 years old, he was still sharp. He still remembered a lot of things. He was able to talk in sentences still, and he was like I said, he was just still intelligent. And we talked about God and Jesus, and we talked about heaven and hell, and we talked about, I asked him, what do you think about, when you die, what happens? I talked to him about, racism. I talked about his books, and I just asked him a million questions, and he said, "Hey, you want to go to Egypt? I have somebody in Texas right now that does a tour." And he said his name, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Ashwa Kwesi. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was Ashwa Kwesi. And he said, yeah, he does tours to Egypt. He does it twice a year. I could plug you through. I could call him, and you can go to Egypt, and he'll take you over there. And I said, okay, cool. All right, cool. And we talked more again, some more again, and I told him how much I love him, and I told him about his books, and you know, we also, like I said, we just talked about so much, and I was just so thankful to be in his presence and tell him how much he meant to me and to millions of black people that know who he is and saw him do the groundwork for us, and of course we took a few pictures, I had a messed up messed up phone back then. The picture didn't come out clear, but it's I still have that picture, and I told him I love him, and I came back again real quick. I think like a week or two later, and seeing him. That visit was short, real short, and we talked about him being a Hebrew, and we talked about one or two other things. That was it was a very short visit. That one, that probably was only about like 25 minutes. The first one, I probably was in there for like 3 hours. But I just wanted to say, Dr. Ben, thank you. I know you're an ancestor now, and you watching over me, watching over us. Thank you. You mean so much to me, and I appreciate everything you've done, and I truly am, like a fan of your work and everything that you've done, and I love you and I appreciate you, and I wanted to just make this video to thank Dr. Yosef Ben-Jochannan, who I feel to me is the greatest, not only African scholar but greatest scholar. Period. I just love you, and continue to watch over us, man. So I want to make that video, and thank you guys for watching. It's Just Different with Ty. Again, make sure you like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can get updated on the latest videos. All right, so that wraps it up, and thank you guys for watching. Peace and love.